Hi everybody, hi, Mike here. Today we're going to talk about the standard topic in General Chemistry 2, that is electrochemistry. Now, the good news is some of it is review. Let's go back to Gen Chem 1. And if you haven't heard the saying, you should have. Leo, the lion, goes grr. That stands for loss of electrons is oxidation. And gain of electrons is reduction. Keep that in mind as we talk the whole time. So Leo the lion goes grr, except he's a friendly lion, like Aslan on Narnia, or that's what my kids tell me. I've never been to Aslan. Been to Ashland, Ohio. Hey, hold on. Now here's another thing. You can't only think about Leo the lion going grr. It doesn't have to be a lion, by the way. It could be a friendly creature that you feel is safe. Hey, anyhow, this equation by Gen Chem 1 standards might look balanced to you. There's equal number of silvers on each side and equal number of zincs. But in Gen Chem 2 electrochemistry standards, it is not balanced at all. What we need to do, or actually is very helpful to do, you can bust it into what we call half reactions. All right, so I'm just going to separate the silver. I'll leave the subscripts out if you forgive me for that. Separate out the zinc. And then what we're going to do is we're going to balance these with electrons. So what I need to do is to notice that there's on the left a positive charge of 1 and a 0 charge on the right, so there needs to be an electron that goes there on the left in order to balance that half reaction. And on the right, 0 and positive 2. There needs to be 2 electrons to balance that half reaction. And you will notice that if we added those together like it was a reaction mechanism, the world would fill up with electrons, and that might sound fun, but it wouldn't be. So what we need to do is balance the electrons so they cancel, because there needs to be equal number of electrons gained as lost. So in order to do that, I got to multiply the top reaction by 2. And I can't just multiply the electrons by 2. I got to do it through everything. And we add this together. Now it'll be balanced, not just in terms of atoms, but in terms of charge, right? These electrons will cancel, and it will be 2Ag plus, let's go and add the subscript back in, aqueous plus zinc, solid, goes to make 2Ag solid plus zinc 2 plus. Now, both sides of the arrow are a positive 2 charge, and that is a balanced equation. Now, let's talk about whether it's going to happen or not next. That's the big deal, to predict which electrochemical reactions will actually occur and which won't. Okay, so I want you to kind of remember that last reaction with the silver reducing and the zinc oxidizing. We're going to talk about what types of processes actually occur passively in nature. So there's 2 types. It's kind of like rolling a boulder up a hill or down a hill. Both can be accomplished, but one's easier than the other. So there are spontaneous processes, and those are what we call product favored, okay? Those are 2 equally accepted terms. Now, later on, we'll talk about delta G, but I want you to think about this thing called E0. That's called reduction potential, standard reduction potential. And then there's non-spontaneous, which means it's kind of like pushing a boulder up a hill. And so let's focus on the E0. The E0 of the reaction tells you whether it's predictably going to happen passively or not. If it's positive, that means it's like going to occur passively, like rolling a boulder down a hill. And if it's negative, it's kind of like pushing a boulder up a hill. It doesn't mean it can't happen. Now, where do you get these E0s, you might ask? Well, we have charts for that. Check this out.